This is day 32 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC Shir, and today is Siman Tes Vav Sif Yud Gimel up to and including Siman Tes Zayin Sif Beis. Excuse me. So let us go to Tes Vav Gimel. Tes Gimel is Yud Gimel. Tes Vav Yud Gimel. Rosh Rosh. So we're dealing with this strange issue of the kanaf on top of another kanaf and being ripped within three of the kanaf. All sorts of things going on in these corners here. The language of the Russian explaining Rab Amram's halacha is strange. Custom says this is right writes. Rab Amram if it's more than three heads bows from the end, you should you can sew came with east base shalosh east base Torah's beggar, because since there's 3 by 3, it has a Torah. It has the status of a garment. Toshalosh, if it's in 3, lace the bay Torah's beggar, it has no status of beggar. Come on, the lace say, and it's as if it doesn't exist. Nami, v'avagav the tafri, come on the pasuk, even though you sewed it back together again, it's as if it was severed. Chashiv lay, chashiv, come on pasuk, chashiv below minam bad tzitzis, so we can't put tzitzis back in there. Yeah, but tzitzis lo part of the talis, and he puts the tzitzis there. It's not going to exempt the talis akal l'shonim. Uritas l'shonim from the quick reading of the Rosh. Mashmut sounds like filmi atil but tzitzis achat v'ilomani. He put tzitzis inside after you sew. You sew up the hole and you sleep with tzitzis back inside of it afterwards. It's also no good, which is pretty big chumrah, if it makes sense. Geen te vaster ben Beis Yosef, the Kavanos Sivdal, and the Beis Yosef learned that way. I was going to muim maho, but this is very astonishing. She called poskim skin with fear of Chibur Gomer. All the poskim agree that when it's sewn together, it's back together again. It's completely connected. There seems that we have to be doichak a little bit. We have to use a steam shovel. They said the Rosh Hashanah also tzitzis shayu bo. The tzitzis which were in there are no good, but you can put back new tzitzis. And of course, or unravel this one and start from scratch. That would you say if you put tzitzis in it now, also, he means put it into the torn part before you sew it back together again. That's what we write. Even though you sewed it back together again, doesn't matter. It's still considered as if it's severed because you had put on tzitzis in the wrong time. The Gan also that also means before the sewing you put the tzitzis back in. But also and the sewing does not work to fix the prior state, but rather only works from here on. Mikano lahaba, not lemafreya. There's a bracket here. The Arishim it says kulam hechad efshar. Arishim should be yotze all the shittas when he can. Ayin shalom. If he mashkazam is the Rakshitas Rashi Rav Amram Keperush Muka Yosef. It's only the only Rashi and Rav Amram according to the Muka Yosef. You understand? Mishabur says that no, you should also have to take into account Rav Amram's according to Perush Rosh, which would be a severe chumrah that once it's ripped, you wouldn't be able to fix it again. Which is very strange, but that's what it would be. That's what come out. Chimashi's bar below nifsak legamri, but lemaisa, it's not. If it's not the nifsak legamri, it's not a problem because remember we said as long as there's a knuckles worth, it's okay. And B, that's a shent of shel tzemer. We use nylon string, not by the Arukh, but today. So therefore, we know the chashash of Rashi, but it's shel tzemer mutar chuyama. So now sewing is okay, according to everybody, both according to the Rosh, because it's not totally separate, and according to Rashi, because we use different threads. So there's no issue of coming to use the sewing thread in order to make the tzitzis. Everything is fine and dandy. You doubt. If there's ripped from the hole where the tzitzis is placed and below, im kadam hatola tzitzis likra. If it says likra, ikodam hatola tzitzis lakera. If it's the putting of the tzitzis came before the rip, shows tzitzis yosham b'shas hakera. The tzitzis was there at the time the rip kosher. Yikram nishtar minu koshu tforon. If there's it's ripped and there's at least something left. Then he puts tzitzis there. Imushot Semer Kosher Liyamav Wool, it's okay altogether because we're not afraid you're going to take that the string which is Shalol Lishma and use it Lishma. Imushot Shar Minim Shederch Lifor B'chutim Shal also mean Lo Yitbar Das Rashi if it's from other the strings of that min of the garment, so you might theoretically use them for the tzitzis. Don't use them according to Rashi. V'nikra v'tover chakach chitibol tzitzis equals buka. If it was ripped and then sewn, and then he put the tzitzis in, it's not clear. Akal shon v'orav tzrichin bir, and his words certainly require explanation. Tezai v'achi perushin is what it means to say the v'karn yisbarav simin alav. Where it explains that tzitzis v'ichlasos l'mala mekasher agol l'misas talos, right? From the end of the talos. V'rak im achar siyas tzitzis nikram and ekel l'mata. Only after you make the tzitzis, after you make the tzitzis, it's ripped from that hole below. But tzitzis kliyim l'mata mekasher agol, and now they're within the knuckles of the edge of the garment. It's kosher. So it's because rak b'shas here. We only are concerned about this at the time when the tzitzis is made. There should be no further than 3 etzbos and no closer than the thumb knuckle. So if it's ripped from the hole, im kodam v'chulei kosher, chakach omer dim nikra v'nishtar v'chulei. Klomar im nikra kodam shitapot tzitzis. If it were ripped before you put in the tzitzis, the mechuyev l'tofra, then you have to sew it. After nishtar bo koshu, even there's a mashu left. That's why kesher go, because at the time you make the tzitzis, you gotta have the thumb knuckle. V'adim nikra l'gamri shal nishtar koshu, and certainly if it's thrown all together and nothing's left. And that which he said the thing left. That's not when it's ripped from the hole and below. Rather where the entire corner is cut away from the talus. And in this situation, you have to have a kosher left like Rav Amram writes. Which is not just going to Rashi because of the sewing thread. Therefore he says, the imushot semer, klamashat talis, who shot semer. Talis is made out of wool. Kosher, everybody agrees it's a kosher. Rav Amram, because according to Rambam, there's something left. And according to Rashi, we don't sew with wool thread. Of other types, which you can use as sewing thread. And also tzitzis will be kosher from them. That's Rashi. You should not sew the whole with Rashi. Because Mike comes to use the sewing thread to make your tzitzis. Pretty much based on without what you wrote. Kevin should say that I've seen tzitzis rock mitzemer. Since by us you only make tzitzis by wool. You get the feeling we've seen this already a few times. There's no chashash for Rashi, even if there are other types, because we're going to use the other types for our talesim. Excuse me. The Mishnah Berurah says here that also by shar minim you should not use a chut of that min, but if a min which is not the same as the talis, you can make it. It's best to use colored thread. Because colored thread, I guess, you're not going to make tzitzis of. Okay, to sew your tzitzis up if they got a hole. Yes, says back to Arukh HaShulchan. Oh, here it is also Arukh HaShulchan. More strength, more power to you if you use colored threads. The shuv ain't shum chashash. That's Rashi, because nobody's going to use colored threads. You should call it tzitzis shalom hemavanim because you only use white. Because blue would be a problem if you wear it tchelis. Koshkein the shitas ram in chashash mishum no mechurim miktzas. According to Rambam, there's no problem of chibur b'miktzas v'omer. Oh, that's the partial connected v'omer od. He says also v'im nikra v'tafro. If it ripped and you sewed it v'achar kachit b'tzitzis, then he put tzitzis there. Ikal spooky. There's a suffix. What is a suffix? Klomar meaning in the nikra garment matalis. If the talis is completely ripped, aha. Ikal spooky. In this we have a question according to Shitas Rav Amram. That's mukiyas and mutatil tzitzis char. Going to mukiyas is certainly put on tzitzis now. It's not that's someone else. That's Rosh Pasul. According to Rosh, you can't put on tzitzis now because since the fixing the rip, it's too late. So she touched the Shrabbina basis the Diva Rosh. Gamma Rosh feel that you actually can fix the rip and put tzitzis in. If my girl calls it a shavik, she's a Rashi im gam b'div and maki b'mlav ayin sham. I guess according to Rashi, we're talking about still the strings. Tes Zayin. Because of Oy. He also wrote, I'm not sure who, I guess it's Yosef. HaToifer Chatikas Begel B'Kanfi Atalis. Somebody puts a porcelain piece of garment at the corner of the talis. Also this, the sewing, the hem which is sewn around the tzitzis hole. If the talis is of silk, you sew it with a white silk thread. You have to be afraid of Rashi that you should be sewing with that below three that's supposed to mom because then you might come to use that sewing thread to be a tzitzis. Whether tzitzis is also true anytime you use the same type of thread as the type of the tzitzis. So that tzitzis, we're afraid you're going to take that string to the string of the tzitzis. This is clear, says Arukh HaShulchan. That's Rashi. Well, this is a problem, according to Rashi. If using the bull talis, there's no problem, like we explained. According to our custom, which you see numerous times, our tzitzis are always of wool. Well, if you make a tzitzis from another type, then, because the strings are from another type, then when you use sewing thread, you use colored sewing thread. Now we have a bracket. In which case no problem with the sewing thread whatsoever. Fine, you can down because of the Kainogim only before Chatichas Beggar Bekanfe Talis Me'ever Sheni Shal Talis. There's a reason why you have this tzitzis of this, right? Right, you have this separate. Maybe it's marked with the black of a fountain pen. No, it's by accident, but that's true. It's black of a fountain pen. So you have this separate, piece of material here. The conflict house may ever change the house. Mishum the rub God. If you chadash yesh ben tefira toch shalosh. Because most garments, even new ones, have some strings coming out evidently within 3 tefachim. So therefore, there's a way to make sure you're not going to get mixed up and use those strings with 3 etzbos. Things in 3 etzbos because you have a solid mass on one side. That doesn't make sense because it's unlikely that you're going to have separate strings coming out even without that additional part of garment. It's probably, he says, going to fulfill the opinion of Rashi that it should be strong and not come to have to sew within 3 etzbos of the edge. Of course, if it gets separate altogether, because if it doesn't get separate together, you still have the knuckle left, it's okay, and even if it's less than a knuckle, as long as it was a knuckle at the time. But to avoid all those questions, they have the extra strengthening material at the edge. Siman Tez Zayin. We're going to Tez Zayin base. Yeah. Siman Tez Zayin. Tiny Benachas. Learn the Benachas Talisha Kotam Miskasa Barosha with a talis which a cut can cover within his head and most of his torso. And a adult wears it occasionally. A child cannot use cover within the majority of his head and his torso. Even though Gadol does wear it occasionally, Betura, it's exempt. I ain't sure. There's certainly a measurement for this cotton. Thanks for the cotton bench, son bench, time. My yours can't be talking about a 1 or 2 year old cotton, a little bit older. As cotton, cotton means halach levada b'shuk. A cotton is walking by himself in the marketplace. Somebody else doesn't have to watch him. That's the shear of a cotton we're talking about. Yes, well, that's a strange shear. The Elamite is still cotton chain circle. Can't say there's just stam a cotton who doesn't require his mother do ben arba chamesh, which is like 4 or 5 years old. Can remember perchas even you can't have the Rambam more Russian said because then the Rambam should have said it that way. Abadi kam rasa gado mizem must be somebody who's older. I took us a ben teisha shling. Einstrom 2 wrote somebody who's 9 years old. Like it says the low shear zemi nation matzin but shas ben teisha royal bia. Maybe at 9 years old because at 9 he's already ripe to have relations. Harish Ata Yotzel Kal Galas class is already been a little bit no adult. It's interesting for. Because the cause of Katan is Bayish, let's say Chutz Beluxus. I think it's pretty young. A Katan who's embarrassed to go out naked. I ain't sure. Nearly says on Shul Game out to appear Shashir, since to give a shear, Vehemalo appear Shu, Kaimel Katur. We hold like the tour, 9 years old. Like I'm Ham Simon K. Maybe everybody else was like that as well. The Banu, the dealing Banu with Shaer, Bishuram, Adain Lo Yidanukama because their Shirim are vague, so maybe they'll just go with the tour. Base. You know, Rama was Haknai, the God of Yotzer Dercharai. Rama doesn't mention it's got to be something which a God will wear occasionally. Shakatan Miskaso Roshua, he just mentioned that the cotton has to be able to cover his head in most of his torso or iron shop. Have a tour cuts of sheer ties is chayv tzitzis, but the tour writes that the sheer to be chayv and tzitzis kol shakatan ben tesha shayim yochel chasos bo rosha v'ruba. It's where a child who's 9 years old can use it for the head of his most of his torso. The God aim is baish, but let's say it's like Rabbi Shuk. The adult will not be embarrassed to go occasionally like that in marketplace. Have an email in a cotton miskasa bo rosha v'ruba, but the cotton does not cover his head and most of his torso. Abba should go to the Karayla Shuk. Even though Godo goes out with it occasionally to the marketplace, Potter Akan L'Show, no. Many people say the Rambam to argue. The died betnight the cotton miskas. It's enough that the child uses it. The Talibina need also the adult occasionally uses it. But he said, Kosa Rabbeinu Brahma, Al Divrei Rabbeinu, but he says it, Klosh and Rambam, Kosav Hu V'Zel L'Shona. So the Rama takes issue with the Beis Yosef, like passing as the Rambam, and adds on. B'daf kukshag love shapamim arrive yotzei b'shuk. Only if God occasionally wears it goes out to market, but it's akal shar. Also, they found difficult. Lomalo shona atano ofenasheni. Why didn't Tana mention the alternative? In Katan, this concept, if a child does use it, then God yotzei b'derech but an adult would never use it. But each one gives a different answer as to why the measurement is expressed this way and not the other way. And also they add a chakir what happens when a gadol uses this garment consistently. When a child would not use it. The consensus that it's liable and tzitzis, the aikenu, and certainly this is true. The beged a garment shagadol wears consistently. Lama yiftar, why should be exempt from tzitzis?